What's up, YouTube? This is Red Devilosa from Red Devilosa Reviews. Today I'm here with my friend from the YB podcast, Kareem, aka the man with no name. What's up, Kareem?
The man with no name. What's good? What's good?
What's good? Uh, cool fact, apparently the man with no name is an anti-hero from the West. So that's pretty cool.
From the West. What's the West? Is it
Like Westerns, like
Oh,
cowboy.
from oh, okay,
From
okay.
the, it's an old anti-hero. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So be sure to check out the part one video with my friend Aaron, and hopefully you enjoy that. And we have a lot to say about part two of
We
The
have a
Last
lot
of
to
Us.
discuss. A lot to discuss.
A lot to discuss. So this is 2020's Game of the Year,
Game
rated
of the year.
rated
I don't know
rated
how.
9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, 100 out of 100 by many reviewers. Do you think these are facts?
You see, well, I can get some people's interpretation somewhat, but the way that the story was delivered and the fact that it was a sequel, it just
Yeah,
plummets the quality of the story so much. So I just can't agree with those scores.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think the important thing to talk about in terms of the sequel is to at least talk about the ending of the first one, where Joel, Joel and Ellie make it to the hospital. Uh, they tell Joel that they're going to have to kill Ellie to make this vaccine so that they could be able to have the cure for this cordyceps fungus that they have in this world. Now, a few things that are important to keep in mind. There is no such thing as a fungal vaccine. But let's just say in this hypothetical world that exists, do we
Hmm.
really think that the fireflies, once they have a vaccine, assuming that it actually can happen, do we know that they're actually going to distribute it to everybody, the WLFs, the Seraphites, the all these like all the other the cannibals? Like, do you think that
Yeah,
they'll distribute that to everyone? I don't
I
think so.
mean, yeah, all these factions that are warring against each other, they if one gets a cure, the logical thing to do would be to use the cure as a leverage against all the other factions to say we have the cure, so you have to fall in line, otherwise you're not getting any.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So
So
yeah, that to me. Go ahead,
it's
go ahead.
just like it's just naive to think that, like, oh, once we get the vaccine everything will be fine. But we've known from this world uh that people just pretend to be injured just to steal from the people who are willing to help, we've seen that in the first game. So it's just like it's pretty naive to think that, like, oh, the world will be fine now when we have a vaccine. uh, it's just the world's not going to change like that. You still have to deal with the people who are against you. Then you have to deal with the infected. You're not going to be able to live without that for until you kill all of them, which
Hmm.
again will take years to recover from that. So
Recover, yeah.
so yeah, I mean that was my mindset. So, like, again, the part two gives us a lot of anti Joel, like, oh, his decision was wrong, he was selfish, he was thinking about
I mean,
himself, and I get it. I get that it is kind of selfish in this in idea, but
yeah,
like again, I think Joel was thinking in a more practical sense, like. Um, do we really think the world will be better with this vaccine? I don't think so, and I don't think he thought so either. But again, I believe his only tie was like, well, Ellie is like kind of my daughter figure now, so I don't want her to die like his first daughter when she was shot. So I mean,
exactly.
I get that whole side too, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just what I have to say on that, what you were saying. Yeah. Also, I just need to point out that there's part of the game, the first game, that is ignored, where it shows that they've had other patients and
yes,
they failed to create the vaccine beforehand. That information
yeah,
is given if you go into a certain room in the game before
yeah.
you kill the doctors and stuff.
There is a recording where the
Yeah,
guy says that they have tried it before and they have failed
exactly.
every time they've tried it. And so, like, again, like, so this retcon that Abby's dad was the surgeon. And apparently this guy is the only guy who knew how to make a cure out of this virus. And like, first off, the question is, how does he know that? He doesn't look that old. He looks like he's in his 40s, 42 maybe.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah,
so it's just like, so you assume that you just like were able to come up with it somehow out of your ass, I suppose. But like, but
yeah.
we know in this world that there's so many chances of you dying. Like the chance of dying is very high. And
Extremely
now
high.
extremely high. Not just with the infected, but even with regular people.
Other people, yeah.
Yeah, so like, so the fact that you didn't try to confide with the other surgeons or other people to know what this method is, so that they can know how to do it in case if you die. So I don't understand why you would do that, and especially when you have such a high risk that now you have Joel in the room. You're asking him to Ellie to die, so you have a high risk of dying there. So you still don't share it with anybody, this secret in how to make a vaccine, just in case if you were to die or not. And again, like,
That is true.
yeah, and in the first game, like, the only person in the medical room that you have to kill is the surgeon that holds the knife of so Abby's dad, the retcon. You don't
Yeah,
have so there are two other surgeons in the room, but you don't have to kill them if you don't want to. In
yeah,
the
but
official canon, you just kill the guy. The other
yeah.
two, they survive. So yeah,
Oh, and the official canon, the other two. I mean, okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I mean, I guess that was a consistency with that, but
yeah,
there is one thing I want to say with the ramifications of having a vaccine in that world. I mean, the world seems to me like it's very like even though it's like very true to like how like life would be if this actually outbreak actually happened. Like
yeah,
since it's like that, and it's extremely like and it's an extremely gritty world, and you do realize that characters have like other motivations and stuff like that. My thing
yeah,
about the vaccine is like you were saying that one faction is just going to use it to their advantage against the other factions, and if the wrong one gets it,
right,
the wrong people get it, then terrible things could happen no matter what. And they never explore that concept within the new game, which I think they should have taken that direction. But I mean,
yeah. And like, and then when Ellie finds out about this situation, like that Joel it made his decision to save her. Now I get that it would emotionally scar you in a way, like
yeah, yeah, it makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, I understand. It's a good scene. The only thing is, like, I wish Joel would have mentioned that there was a recording that, um, there were others like you,
Yeah,
and they were killed in the process.
exactly.
But like,
But I think that
the thing is, like,
that
I
was
think they're assuming that you don't have to pick up the recording if you don't want
yeah,
to.
I think it
So
was retconned. Yeah, it's not part of the thing. Yeah,
yeah,
which
which is
to me is kind of dumb, but I guess.
yeah. I guess, like, you just assume that, like, if people do their job and scavenge for everything, like, you would assume that
Yeah, the
you
game
have the
taught you to
recording.
do throughout the whole game. They taught you to scavenge through every single room basically in order to
Yeah.
get supplies, and that's basically within Joel's character. He's an extremely cautious person who always wants to be prepared for whatever could happen next. So
Now,
he is
now,
going to look through what's going to happen. And
now,
when saying that, we got to get into the main meat of the
the
problem.
we got to get to the elephant in the room with uh Joel in the.
Oh
So
man,
we were talking about
they did him
conveniences, and
dirty.
actually, to be honest, Joel isn't the worst thing. Joel's death is not the worst thing of the game,
It's
and
it's not. It's not.
but we will get to some of that stuff. But it is one of the biggest things. Like, so we talked about some conveniences that happened in the game. Joel and Tommy were doing they were doing their scouting mission, like just checking like the areas to see if there's infected and all that.
Yeah.
So they were up in the place, and they find Abby, who was being protected by a fence that was uh it fell over the building, but she's like crawling through this fence area, and she was just trying to go like this. And
Yeah.
a zombie gets on top of her, but then all of a sudden Joel shoots it and then saves her life. Now the thing is, if I don't hear anybody mention this in previous reviews. The thing is, Joel and Tommy were not supposed to be there originally. They were it was supposed to be someone else, like two other people, but apparently they had some conflict. I can't remember what it was in
They had
particular,
a
but
con.
they had like the original people who were supposed to be where Abby was.
Yeah,
They were supposed to be there, but the thing is, they had so Joel and Tommy had to take over. So again,
they go.
convenient that the guy that she's looking for is the one who's there when he wasn't supposed to be originally. So
I don't know why he added that part in it if he's gonna
yeah,
be there anyways. He should have just said he went on patrol there. Like,
yeah,
I didn't
like
know that. That's kind of crazy.
yeah. So like so it's convenient that Joel was even there in the first place. Also, Tommy was a dumbass in this game. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the
Oh
things
my
happened
god.
was because of Tommy.
Yeah.
Like he just revealed both of their names casually to Abby. Now I get it was just to calm her down. Like, my name is Tommy. This is Joel, and yeah, and then but like again, it's just that Joel in the last game you saw how cautious he was with everything. Like, he wouldn't even give
Yeah.
up his name. Like, that's just how cautious he was. And speaking of not cautious, he once they go to the base, he pretty much drops all of his weapons and goes in a
Yeah.
room filled with a bunch of
Everything. Yeah.
strangers, drops
All
everything,
of them.
and goes.
All of them are armed too. All of them.
All of them are armed.
Like, oh
Then
man.
he walks in the middle of the room. Tommy says, "This is Joel." Everybody's looking at him, so he has nothing on hand. Again, completely out of character. And then Abby shoots him in the leg and beats him with a golf club.
I mean, if that scene was brutal, but the thing that gets to me about Joel's death isn't the fact that he died in that game, because I
No,
came into the game sort of expecting him to die in the sequel, but I expected them to, how the first game, since it's a sequel, you have to build on the themes and world building of the first game. So the
yeah,
main theme of and the main meat of the first game was Ellie and Joel's relationship. The fact
right,
that we were not able to explore that to its fullest extent, especially after she knows the secret. It was gold right there to continue the story and have them go on
yeah.
another arc. But I mean, they instead of doing that, they just killed him and then they put him back in flashback so people would be like, "Oh, it's Joel again! Yay!" Like,
Yay!
I guess I don't
And like
know.
it's just like he died less than 2 hours into the game. Like, if you like playing the game in the gameplay, like less than
Yeah,
2 hours into the game, he dies, and
yeah.
it's just people like I played both games
You're
last year,
invested in the two characters.
so you're invested into so I can
Yeah,
imagine when people who've been fans since 2013, so 7 years, they've been waiting for Joel and Ellie to come back and play as them, and with
man.
this new revelation that maybe Ellie knows about, that Joel was lying to her, but she was kind of okay with it, or the way that it ended. So like people were kind of hopeful for playing as Joel or Ellie, or just having a Joel and Ellie team up. But just to have Joel die 2 hours into the game, like he was nothing. And
Yeah.
according to Neil Druckmann, the writer, he said that he felt like Joel's arc was done with the first one.
You see,
So
I think what he didn't understand was the fact that Joel's arc to him might be done, even though I'd say, but it might be
I feel
done
like
to
you could
him.
still do something with it.
But
But
you
yeah,
can still do something with it, yeah. But Ellie and Joel are like a tandem. So their arcs are sort of like intertwined per se, especially with when you have the first game. You're invested. The one thing that you're invested in going into The Last of Us 2 is not the zombies in the world for how good it is. It's mainly just the relationship between Joel and Ellie. So
yeah,
for a sequel, it logically makes sense that you would add in that part that they did. They added that in, which I commend them for. But then they just screwed it up by not exploring what this does to their relationship, how it is tarnished, and how maybe they could make up, or maybe she never actually forgives him and he dies anyways. But the thing
yeah.
is, you need to just show what's happening. Like,
And
it's
again,
weird.
like what I was like trying, what I said about the first game, like in my previous review, the pacing of the story is really good.
Yeah,
how you go through the story. The
The
pacing
first
in
one,
this game is all over the place.
horrible.
You play as Joel for 4 minutes, then you play as Ellie, then you play as Abby, then you play as Ellie, then Abby kills Joel, then you play as Ellie for like 10 hours of the game, then you play as Abby for 12 hours of the game, and then you go back and forth. It's broken. Like
and the problem with that is, why are you leaving off on Ellie's story at the climax of the story and then going right back down to the rising action of Abby's story? That makes no sense to me.
It's like let's do a flashback. Let's do a flashback of Abby and her father, and let's try to. And we can get into Abby now.
Oh man, it should have started like maybe it should have even started. The game should have started with Abby. I don't know why they didn't just start the game with Abby. Like
exactly.
Keep
go
going.
ahead.
Yeah, or like flashback after the after maybe the opening scene where you see Jackson and stuff like that, and then you see Abby coming through with she's coming to the thing, or no, even after she kills Joel, that's when they should bring in and show Abby's backstory. To be honest, at least part of it, and then they can switch.
I don't know about right after, because the thing is, like, I don't know, the problem is, like, it's so hard to get someone to care now.
That's true.
Like people
it should have been before she
Joel.
killed Joel. It should have been before she killed Joel, to be honest.
Yeah, because like the thing is, it gets worse. Like when you're Ellie, you have all of this bloodlust to kill Abby for killing Joel.
That's what I'm saying.
And Joel was like a beloved character. I said he's probably one of my favorite protagonists in a video game. I have Kratos, I have Peter Parker, I have Nathan Drake. These are like my 4 favorite protagonists in a video game. So like I can imagine when people are upset about Joel dying. Now you have there was a YouTuber, Cosmo of Variety Hour. He said apparently Joel is not a beloved character, which is the reason why people are reacting like this is because he was a beloved character. I mean,
despite his flaws, he was still a character that at the end of the day you wanted to root for and you wanted to get behind.
And it's like, because like the logic was like, oh, anti-heroes can't be beloved, but people really like Wolverine, Deadpool, Punisher. Like people like these anti-heroes, but
exactly.
So I don't see why. And plus, the thing is, nobody in this world is a hero. Nobody in this world is a villain. They're all survivors. They're all survivors. They know that this is a world where you just can't be innocent for even a second, and you just have to know that people are out there. They might kill you. You never know. So it's like, I don't understand like this whole, oh, he's an anti-hero. He's a villain. No, he's a survivor. That's all it is. Let's get to Abby. So the thing about Abby, she looks weird as hell. Like her body.
I mean, first time I saw it, I was like, what?
She looked just. Because like they said there was going to be a trans character in the game, so people assumed it was Abby.
That's what they did. They really did, though. That's funny.
Yeah,
because she's so huge. It's like, bro, what? It's like she had steroids. Where did she get steroids from, bro?
Yeah, I mean,
like the thing about this to me that's wild is the fact that she has such huge muscles, right? But it really doesn't make sense because they're in a world where it's hard to survive, it's hard to get food. And even if you were getting a steady supply of food like that, I don't think you're wasting your time building muscle. To me, that's not really going to help you survive like that. Like getting muscle like that, I feel like it's way more helpful being lean and being able to navigate through the forests quickly and stuff like that rather than being huge and bulky. That's just me, but
now I'm gonna be honest. Whenever you do get to play as Abby, whenever you do melee with her, like it's actually pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. So like it's just like just how physically imposing she is. Like she literally knocks out like with infected in like a one punch. Like it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
It is fun, but the thing is, like the game is so biased for her. Like it's like they just want to make you. Like, it was so clear throughout the game that they were trying to manipulate you that Abby is the good one, Ellie is the bad one, and all that. Like oh, Abby gets to pet the dogs, Ellie gets to kill them, so clearly Ellie's bad. Then you have like Abby gets the best guns in the game, the best equipment in the game. Ellie gets like a bunch of shit. Like let's
Oh
so
yeah.
Kareem himself didn't really get to play the game itself, but again, I'm trying to judge it more as a narrative because, like, again, the gameplay. If I can quickly say it, it was pretty similar to the first one.
I mean,
They
I
didn't.
did. Wait, hold on. I did play some of the game. I didn't finish it
Oh, you
because
did. Okay.
yeah, I played some of it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So, like, honestly,
I
like
did.
for me,
I do know the narrative though because I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, for me, the gameplay compared to the first one, it was fun in terms of like when you don't think about the story. Like when you fight the infected and the humans, like you can have some fun with that. It's similar to the first game. They added like proning and dodging into the game and all that. So those are some new innovations. But
Hmm.
like when you just think about the cut scenes, the dialogue scenes, like the overall story of the thing, like it's just like it throws you off the game. So like whenever you're playing, it's just like God damn. Like I don't want to scavenge and like to help these people when I don't care about them. Like I don't
That's
care
the
about
thing.
Abby's
That's the
character.
thing. You feel like when you're playing as Abby, you feel like that's why I stopped while I was playing as Abby. I was like, I'm not doing this because I just felt like I was wasting my time. Like I don't care. I don't like. I didn't care anymore. I was like, whatever,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
when you don't care
So
about the narrative, it's hard to be invested in the gameplay, especially since the gameplay loop isn't really that much different from the older one. Like and
yeah,
to me personally, I don't really like those type of games. Like it's not really my forte. The main reason why I finished The Last of Us 1 was because the story was so good. So the
yeah,
fact that the story was not that good on the second one, I just couldn't finish it.
yeah. So like I mean, because I said in my previous review, I said like probably the story is 10 out of 10, but the
Yeah.
gameplay is probably like I give it like a 6.5, 7
Yeah,
out of
6,
10.
yeah.
So like
Yeah, I'd give it like a 6.
that was a quick thing about the gameplay. But like going back to Abby, so Abby, she has all this bias. She gets the best guns, the best equipment. She pets the dogs. Ellie kills the dogs. Uh, and they were teaching you this childish like narrative that revenge is bad and all that for Ellie. But like Abby gets to do whatever she wants, like to whoever she wants. She doesn't suffer from PTSD. She has no remorse for killing people. She like completely gets away with the revenge on Joel. And
She's
what
built
makes
different. She's built different, so
she's just built different, literally.
she's literally built different, bro. It's like it is what it is.
Yeah, and
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
yeah, and then they try to manipulate you with like when they do the flashback with Abby and her dad, and then her dad is saving the zebra from this barbed wire, and they're just trying to treat it like the giraffe scene, like from the first
I
one.
see. To me, I wouldn't say because I do see like I see the parallels, but I feel like that was more of a storytelling decision, like rather than just like saying that he likes animals, he likes this. Like I don't know if they were going for that type of like it may seem like it, but I don't
That's
feel like they
that's
were
what it
going
felt
for
like
that. Yeah,
to me.
exactly. Yeah. Because it can feel like that, but I just don't think that's what they were going for. But the execution was poor to me.
Yeah,
Just
like
yeah, in general.
like we just need to show how good this man was. Oh, it's like, oh, Joel killed a father. Do you feel bad yet? Like,
Like we killed like
like
many of them going to Boston. So
yeah,
like
so it's like, come
or
on, bro. Like, so like if you like, we could just say that he had a surgical knife in his hand, so he had an intention to kill you. So in this
Yo
world,
said he had
like
a
if someone,
surgical knife.
so he had some intention to kill you. So if you kill him, I mean, it's fair game at that
Yo
point.
say Yo said I had a
Because,
gun, but he had a surgical knife.
yeah, so
That
basically
was
in the
fair.
canon, also in the canon, like the official canon is that he walks up to the guy, takes the knife out of his hand, and slits his throat like that. So that's how you can do whatever you
Oh,
want to him, but canonically he takes the knife, slits his throat with the surgical blade. So yeah,
okay.
but
So he just uses his own weapon. That's crazy, bro.
yeah,
You
yeah.
got disarmed
Because
and used
in
your
the
own
game,
weapon used
like
on you.
when you're playing it, you could use your flamethrower, you can use your
Yeah,
guns, you can shoot
exactly.
with
You
the
could just
foot, you can do whatever you want.
yeah,
But
whatever you want. Yeah.
The official canon is he slits his throat with the surgical blade that he was holding. So yeah, you got all
Wait,
that.
in the first game, was there an option to take a surgical? That would be funny if there was an option to take a surgical knife to kill
I
him
actually
like
never tried that, to be honest.
that.
Like
That'd be crazy.
I didn't know if you could actually walk up to him and do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you could. I don't know.
I have no
But
clue.
yeah,
I shot him, so
I shot him.
yeah.
I used a flamethrower once. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
use the flamethrower one? Yo, hey, he's a menace, bro. He's a
He's
menace.
a menace.
I don't know where I'm
Yeah.
pointing. He's a menace. All right.
Yeah. But anyways, so how do we transition from that?
Use the flamethrower.
Yeah. I don't know how to transition from that. But anyways, Abby. So Abby gets like this this little it's not a he or her. I guess I'm gonna say him, even though it's probably them. I don't know. Lev.
Who?
As
Oh,
Lev.
Lev. Yeah.
So it's trying to be like Joel and Ellie, like Kratos and Atreus, something like that. I mean,
Artreus.
Artreus. Yeah, you're right.
That's like not play.
I haven't played the game in a while.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, yeah. So it's just trying to like make you feel like, oh, you're Abby and Lev, just like Joel and Ellie, and it's I mean, there's nothing wrong with Lev to me. I mean, in terms of the additional supporting characters, I think Jesse for Ellie's group and Lev
to me, Jesse was the most compelling character until he got shot in the face.
And they never talk about that.
I thought he was gonna get up too. I was like, bro, get up, please. He did not get up, bro. I said, man, how come Tommy got up, bro? Tommy didn't help at all, bro. He just made it worse. He just made it all worse, bro.
And then the thing is, like, Tommy got shot like back here,
and he got up,
but he didn't die.
He didn't die. From
that. That doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I don't really have a problem with Lev. I mean, he was having his own issues, and then the whole side of that. I mean, it was. I just didn't care at that point. It was so boring.
Exactly.
It's just like maybe if this was earlier, maybe I would care. But like the problem is, like, I just didn't. I had nothing, and they tried all this. They tried everything in the bag. Like let's try. Oh, Abby has a fear of heights. That's so relatable, isn't it? And all that. So, but then she also like walks across
that's what I'm saying.
A hospital scene, like just walking across this ledge, and to save Lev's sister with, but then eventually she dies anyway. So that whole thing was pointless at that point.
Wasn't Abby's like thing like just a whole bunch of fetch quests anyway?
It was pretty much fetch. It was just a bunch of fetch quests, and then it's like, oh, she was killing the WLF, like her own friends and all that. But this is like, so what?
Yeah, exactly. I think that the thing is with this game, like we were saying earlier, is its pacing is so off that even if you wanted to care about the story, it just bores you once you get to what's her name, because all the tension is just gone, and it takes so long. It takes like what 10, 20 hours. I didn't even get through it. It takes that long to the point where I didn't even decide. I decided it's not worth it to keep going on to the finish. I don't know, man.
Now let's we can go to Ellie now. I was very disappointed with Ellie overall. Like Ellie was one of my favorite parts of the last game. She was like snippy, she was sassy, but she was no damsel in distress. Like she could easily take care of herself if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like having that all stripped away. It's just. I mean, I get it. She's older now, and now she has the knowledge that Joel saved her when. It's just my problem with how it was handled. Like at the she all of a sudden she goes through this whole revenge quest. She goes through every single friend of hers and kills them. So my thing is like, with the friends, like it's just Ellie never asks anybody why Abby killed Joel. Like she never asks that question, like why it happened.
Yeah, that
And
is true.
even when even when her friends are like begging for their lives, like do not die, like that surgeon, the Mel and
Yeah.
Owen, like they were all begging for their lives to not die, but she still never tries to ask Joel didn't why Joel was killed by Abby. And on top of that, like even when they're begging for their life, they don't give up this kind of information either. So it's like, so again, like you don't really get to learn about why any of this happened. And Abby, and then when they do meet each other in the theater, she starts to say like, it's like I get it, you're mad at Joel for like for taking me because it took away the cure. Like I get it, like I understand why he did it, but like so that's why he's saying don't kill Tommy. But then she says that's not why I want to kill you. It's because you killed my friends. So even with all that, like we still never get to learn why. She never gets to learn why Abby did it, and the game is trying to say like, well, it doesn't matter because like
She just went out for revenge or something.
she
Like
just
it
went out for
wouldn't.
revenge for no reason, and it's like we just have to accept it. It's like I don't want to though.
Yeah,
It's just,
I feel like the characters were treated like more like plot devices than characters. Like she
yeah,
just like she got mad, so she went to go and attack him. Like the motivations in this game they're extremely shallow to me
right.
because
And then like pretty much all the side characters kind of sucked.
oh man,
Like Manny, he like, and then the thing is like with all of Abby's friends, like when you see them like dealing with Joel, they're all like these hardened badass people that like, well, not
yeah,
badass
exactly.
bitches
But
who just like they're so angry with
watching it,
everything,
yeah,
and then like
watching it get
you have Manny spit on his corpse and all that, and then all of a sudden when you go to the flashbacks, everybody's so fun loving and all that, and it's like
I
whoever
mean,
they were in that room,
but
that's not who they are.
in their defense, when you think about it from their perspective, they don't know that the cure. They don't know that they still think in their heads that the cure would have been there. So to them, Joel took away the cure from them. So I can understand why he spits on his face and stuff. The thing that to me is
The
just
thing that what I don't really get though is that it doesn't really imply that that's the case. Like I feel like it's just Abby wants revenge for Joel killing her father, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
that's
just
true.
because of her killing her father. So I assume like
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
the
her
thing.
friends, they're just gonna
They
support
just
her,
went.
and it's
See,
just like
that to me, in a world like this, that is the dumbest thing ever. I don't see why it's like. See, when what's her name? When Ellie left, it was just two people. One of them was Dina, and the because she obviously cared for Ellie, and the other
yeah.
one
So like
was
so
the
you
other
have a
dude,
bunch of so like
and
Abby has a bunch of
yeah,
friends, and Ellie
friends
like
that
Joel didn't have friends who
what?
wants to avenge his death. Like really?
Yeah, come on. Like she was this great person that was this great leader. Like if she was a great leader, she wouldn't be leading them across the country to kill one dude. It just no.
Like
Like there's there are higher priorities than this. Like clearly
there's
you were
higher
fighting this
like you need to
you were fighting
survive.
this she was
Joel
fighting this
could
fair
die
fight.
from being infected, so like or from
Exactly.
some other person. Like you would just assume that he might die at one point. So
Yeah.
why what it's petty. And
Yeah.
that's why
To
I'm saying
me,
like that's why the whole thing with Ellie saying like her quest for revenge is bad, but Abby's is okay. Then that doesn't make any sense to me because like you could say the same thing to Abby, but again, the game doesn't treat it like that.
I think that the quest for revenge, they're trying to say that rather than it being just bad for Ellie and bad for Abby, what they were trying to do was retroactively show that Abby's not a horrible person, just like Ellie wasn't a horrible person before this game. But she since her father died, she went and got revenge, and now Ellie's trying to get revenge, and then the cycle moves on. That's what they're trying to show, but it's just the way they did
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
just so poorly executed that it just looks like they're glorifying, like you said, they're glorifying Abby, and they're just making Ellie look horrible, even though both of them are just objectively
They're,
terrible
they're,
people in this
they're
game.
both terrible.
Yeah,
And
like
it's unfortunate because I loved Ellie in the first game, and now she's just
yeah,
now she's just another character that's
That's bad.
not as compelling now. Like,
Yeah, it's
and that's
definitely not.
unfortunate.
Her one
And it,
motivation.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, her one motivation is literally just kill this one person, and I haven't thought about what's happening after that. That's
It's
that's
like all right. It's like I'm gonna
and then she
kill all
doesn't
of
kill
you
her at the end.
guys. I'm gonna kill all your friends, but I'm not gonna kill you though.
Yeah,
Like
like all of a
then
sudden
it's like
I
then like
oh,
and then you
bro.
just assume like you assume us as the player like we came to that conclusion too. We didn't. We all hated Abby at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
about all of us. I'm not gonna say all of us, but like you have
Clearly,
people who hated
the
Abby
people who
from the
made the
beginning
Game
to the
Awards
end.
didn't, but I mean,
The Game Awards didn't, but yeah, but yeah, it's just like you set up this whole revenge quest, and like we kill all of her friends, but then when we get to the point where Abby gets captured by the Rattlers, and actually let's get to the best character in the game. You know what I'm talking about?
no, you're talking about Fat Gerald.
Fat Gerald, Fat Gerald,
Fat Gerald, yeah.
Gerald. Yeah, that's he's the best
Oh,
character in the game. Only 3 minutes of screen time. And he did enough. He Falcon punched Lev into the garage door, and he was knocked out for the rest of the game. And for the rest of the game, yeah. So and it was funny. It's like
he went into a coma just like Shaq wanted.
just like that was funny. Yeah,
You see why
yeah.
we didn't know what we're talking about. But
We know Drew. Drew says equal rights comes with equal lefts. That's all I gotta say.
oh no, oh no, oh no.
And then not just that, but like even though the punch was epic as hell, it like also like you see like when Lev shoots a guy in the shoulder, he's like showing concern, like relax, and then he breaks the arrow and pulls it out, and then he shows like he cares about other people too. So he seems like a good leader,
Yeah,
and all that, and and it's unfortunate that he was killed by Ellie, but I would prefer a Fat Girl spinoff.
Yo, Fat Girl spin-off. That's kind of crazy.
Okay,
I don't know about that. I would play that game. You'll say you're okay. I would
okay
not play that game.
I had to latch on to something because like this game is filled with trash characters, so like, I had to latch on to something here. So
Oh man, they should make a game about how he got fat in a post-apocalyptic world. That's kind of interesting. That might be compelling. He was a really good hunter, so he was able to get himself meat. And that's how he got fat.
So they added this last group. So it's like so what they do is like they kind of crucify people, I guess. So like so they take Abby and they hang her onto this pole.
I don't know what the point of that is, but okay.
Yeah. So the thing about Ellie is like when Ellie finds her, she could just let her stay there. Like she's gonna be dehydrated anyways. She's gonna die anyways.
Or
just shoot her in the head to
that's it.
to take away her misery, I guess. But like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Or if you want to get up close and personal, stab her. But why are you just letting her go, like, bro?
Yeah, and but then, it's like, then you just cut her down, and then you said, no, we should fight. We have to fight. And then they get in the fight, and then Ellie puts her into the water, but then she starts remembering Joel's death. Then she starts remembering the porch scene, and then she decides. And this is at a point where Abby bit off both of your fingers, and like so, she lost a lot in this game. Like she loses Dina and her family. She lost Jesse. She lost Joel. She lost two fingers.
She didn't really care about Jesse, to be fair. I mean, they didn't really say much about him.
The game didn't care either. So. And that's unfortunate because, again, like we said, Jesse was probably the better side character in the game. So, So, and then she loses two fingers. Now she can't even play the guitar anymore. So her last tie to Joel is gone. But no, Abby gets to live, and she gets to go on with her life with Lev. And you just feel like at that point, it's like, God damn, what was the point of this then?
Yeah, what was the point of the game? Like, it just, what was the point? Like, what was the point of watching narrative.
It's like, for me, it's like I'd rather have just let the first one be the first one and
and
not
that's
have a
it.
sequel.
Yeah,
In terms of positives, the game looks amazing. I don't,
great.
yeah, like graphically, I don't know how much better the PS5s will look, but being one of the last few PS4 games, I just feel like it might be pretty hard to top
Good,
that level
yeah,
of quality. But yeah, and consistently, the best part in both games is the music by Gustavo Santaolalla. He's a the music, the soundtrack was really good throughout the game as
yeah.
well.
The
Uh, we
guitar.
said we said Fat Geralt was the best character in the game,
Oh, well, hold
and
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. My best character in the game was still Joel. Anyway, let's keep going.
okay,
I'm playing.
yeah,
It was, you know who it was? It was that dog in the town, Jackson. It was that dog, bro.
yeah.
I
So
don't
like
know.
I
I just didn't really like any of the characters. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, I mean, so I just find it
I
funny
mean,
how I find it funny how like Ellie was not able to forgive the guy who called her a dyke in the bar. And then,
oh
like,
yeah,
I don't know if you remember right in the
yeah, I
beginning,
remember
she
that.
says these bigot sandwiches and all that. She
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
forgive him for calling her a dyke, but you can forgive the person who killed your father, pretty much. So I
yeah.
suppose so.
I mean,
That makes no sense to me either. But
I don't know. Though Dina was, she was an okay character. I'd say she was okay. She was just way too passive to me, though. Way too
yeah,
passive for me. Because she
yeah,
would
and
just
then
go along with whatever Ellie said, and everything Ellie was saying didn't make any sense. But she just kept going along with it. I was like, okay.
yeah,
Like, at
I
what
mean,
point do you like? Are you like, bro? I got a baby on the way. Stop. We need to go home. Like, bro. Like, just no. I'm going home. Like, bro. What is this? It's weird.
and
But
I get they were trying to do all these parallels, like Abby had this pregnant lady in her group, and
I mean,
that
they
is
sent her to
that
the
was
front line.
that
She was killed
that
anyway.
was that was the dumbest thing ever. Like they
Oh
literally
man,
sent her to the front lines
wasn't she a
with it,
medic too?
and
She
she
was
was
a
a
medic
master
too.
surgeon. I mean,
Yeah,
clearly they wanted to say that pregnant women are very
made no
strong and all
sense.
that, but like it made no sense. But like, and then you say like, and then she says stupid lines like, "Oh, I don't want to drink because I'm pregnant." But then it's like, well, you're walking in uh, a place where you could get shot, but no, drinking is a problem, I suppose.
I mean, I
I
guess you
mean,
gotta have,
the baby
you
was
gotta have.
hard.
Yeah, that's what bro. It was, bro. It's just some extra padding right there,
It's
just
extra
to
padding.
absorb. Stop.
And then also like also there's like a moment where like Abby lifts her up and she grinds the baby on the metal cage, like right on the edge. Like you don't care about the baby. What are you talking about?
Oh no. I mean, there was that kind of funny thing where the dude who used to go there always used to go there because there was weed there, and he used to smoke a whole bunch of weed. That was kind of funny. That was kind of funny,
Yeah,
but I did like that touch. But that was funny. But the
yeah,
game itself, the dialogue isn't terrible. I would say that the dialogue is still pretty good for the direction the story went. It just when you have a direction of a story that's bad, the dialogue can only push it to be so good.
yeah.
I feel
I
like the
mean, like,
dialogue is still pretty good though.
yeah. I mean, I still gotta commend the voice actors. Like, they're just doing their jobs.
Definitely,
Like,
yeah,
they're
definitely.
uh, like pretty much like all scenes. Like, I believe they're all believable in their way. And all that. I believe
Yeah,
everybody did a great job with voice acting and all that. And Laura Bailey, she was the voice actress for Abby. She got a bunch of death threats, and it's just that's stupid, bro. Like
why?
we've said this before. It's like
Why? She
one,
literally just came
she
in,
didn't
did
write
her
the character,
job.
and even if she did
Yeah,
write the character, it doesn't matter.
it
Like
doesn't
it's just a
matter. Yeah.
character. And
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that we need to address. Like these people who are out here like slandering people's names and like thing. Like he made a game you didn't like. Get over it, bro. Like it's not that deep. Like you don't need to send death threats and talk about he ruined your life. Like no, he didn't. Your life was already bad because you needed Last of Us 2 to make your life good, so it wasn't good beforehand. So stop acting like they out here ruined your whole life. Like, bro, come on.
Like, yeah, I
Chill
mean,
out. It was a disappointment.
relax.
Just take it exactly and move on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen
So
some people who are bad, like very bad. Like, it's just like, come on, geez.
yeah. So there was some false marketing in the game as well. Like they said that Ellie was only going to be the playable character, the only playable character in the game. They said that they actually aged Joel in the trailers so that it just made it seem like Joel would be in there longer when that wasn't true.
Oh,
Um,
they did. I
yeah,
didn't even
yeah,
realize that.
the trailers
He
had
did look kind of older in the trailers. Now
yeah,
that you
yeah,
say that.
yeah. There was like a lot of leaks about the whole plot of the game. I mean, I'm sure the developers were like, this game is shit. Let's just give it to the audience at this point. So a lot of people did, and it turns out a lot of the leaks, pretty much all the leaks were true.
Yeah, I don't
Which
know who put the leaks out, but
you
damn,
did,
Sony,
you did,
you did do
stop
people a
people from
solid because
stop
you
people from
stopped me
playing the
from
game.
buying it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that he actually shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you because I would have
shout
bought
out.
that at $60, and I would have actually been mad, but I didn't buy it
Yeah,
at full price, so I'm
I
not
didn't.
mad.
I did get to play the game for free from a friend who
Yeah,
got it on
exactly.
discount. So
Yeah, I got it. I
yeah,
got it for like discount as well. It wasn't too much.
yes, yeah. So shout out to the guy giving the leaks. And also in the leaks, like they showed like Ellie killing dogs, and they were saying, "Oh, you're not going to kill dogs in the game," but we all know that's not true at all. So there was a bunch of false marketing.
Oh yeah, they were saying that you don't have
Sony's
to.
marketing.
I mean, they weren't wrong when they say you don't
You don't
have to kill
have to
dogs,
kill the dogs.
but
You
it
just have
makes
to
it
kill the dog.
extremely tedious if you don't kill the dogs. Like, how are you going to
Yeah,
get past that section without killing the dogs and then trying to get past everyone? Like, it's
yeah,
just kill the dogs, bro. They're not that important. You're killing people. Like, who cares if you kill dogs? That's just my
yeah,
opinion. But
yeah. And like, I mean, technically, you can go through the whole game without killing dogs, except for the one where Abby's dog in the aquarium.
oh, you have to kill that
That's the
one.
only dog you have to kill. That one. It's like he's trying to eat your face. So it's like, no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill the dog at that point. But yeah, and oh my god, speaking of conveniences, and the aquarium. So after Ellie kills Mel, she opens up the jacket and reveals that she's pregnant. And the way she was hiding the pregnant, like they were hiding the pregnancy like with the jacket, so it made it seem like, oh, she's just a fat girl or something like that. I don't know. But then like when she opens it, she's pregnant, and then and then she starts to react, like, oh, I killed a pregnant person. But then
yeah.
again,
For
let's
your
assume that
survival, I
yeah,
don't
she
know.
was trying to stab you
Not
in the neck. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, she was trying to
I
stab you at the
mean,
neck at that point. It's her fault.
it is. It is really
Yeah,
like if somebody's gonna try to stab me in the neck, I'm gonna try and retaliate because I don't want to die. So yeah,
yeah, and
that's
yeah, and I mean, like, so they were trying to give her all this PTSD, her killing a pregnant lady. Now, like, let's assume like
I mean,
you
I
killed
think that works.
you
I
killed a
think that
lot of people though. So like,
yeah, but I think
why
that
are these killings like so difficult for
I
you? I don't know.
that is true, but I do think that the PTSD does work with the added trauma of seeing Joel sort of getting shot right in front of her face. I mean, it has to be a traumatic
Yeah, yeah,
experience. And then
yeah.
plus the whole like tirade
I
that
like
she
how they're
went
adding
on.
it with I like how they're adding it with Ellie, and all that. Like, because like Joel, the thing is, he's been around for 20 years. I think he's gotten used to it at that point. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
his reactions are going to be obviously different. But like
Yeah.
for Abby, not like being remorseless, really, it's like that's just not realistic at all. At least I
I
don't think so.
mean, there are psychopaths.
There are psychopaths too. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
but the convenient thing though, she
Mhm.
drops the map that shows where they are, and
Oh yeah, yeah. And then Abby
when
comes
Abby
to
finds, like when Abby goes to the aquarium, she picks up the map. So they literally,
from the box.
at that
Yeah.
point, they literally had to write in that Ellie drops the map, because otherwise there was no way Abby was going to find
Abby
her.
would find her. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah. That was Ex Machina, bro. There's a whole bunch of like convenience things that happen throughout the story that just so happen to serve what they wanted to do. Like you can tell, even for the last scene. the fact that Ellie and like took her off the thing and then said no, I have to threaten Lev so that you fight me and all of that. All of that was just so that you could fight and they could have this ending fight scene at the end, and then they can subvert your expectations because Ryan Johnson's a thing, whatever that nigga like I
D&D from Game of Thrones season 8.
Bro. But I heard that he made a movie that was actually pretty good where he was subverting expectations and it worked. But I mean, what
like
movie he's known for, so
yeah.
It didn't really go out well there. So
yeah, so that was very convenient that she drops the map, and that's the only way Abby could find her. Another big one is why did they leave? Why did they let Tommy and Ellie go after killing Joel?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. Because you would assume that. So you think that after killing Joel,
they're just not going to retaliate.
She was literally shouting at you that I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to hunt you down and kill you. So why not spare the trouble and kill Ellie? Because she's going to go out and kill you. Or
honestly,
did you really think? Oh, that was
story
empty.
Should have ended right there. The story.
That's really literally the story should have ended, bro.
Yeah.
You have Tommy knocked out. You have Ellie shouting, "I'm going to kill you." So you just assume that they're not going to go after you now. Are you serious?
And then even the second time when Abby spares Ellie, that's completely out of character. If somebody is her enemy, she's going to kill them. She's shown that. As much as they want to show that, exactly. As much as they want to show that she's with her comrades and stuff like that, she had to turn on all of her comrades and kill all of them, and she didn't care. So what do you if she kills Ellie? What do you think she's going to care about that? She's obviously just to kill her and move on with her life. Even that second time, in the where was it again? Where she beat her up in the I forgot where it was.
In the theater or
in the theater? Yeah, in the theater. That's where exactly. She should have just shot her, and that was the end of the.
And they just expected you to play as Abby. No, but even in the theater scene, you play as Abby fighting Ellie, Ellie has the balls. Yeah. And it's they expected you to actually care about Abby. I know so many people just wanted Ellie to kill her right there.
Just let her die.
So it's this is the canon ending, but let's see what the fan fiction has to say.
Yeah, they just let her get killed.
Yeah, I know I did, but it's I can't believe they expected you to actually give a shit about Abby when you're fighting Ellie and you don't want Abby to die. At that point, again, there's a lot in this game, and it's a pretty long game too.
Extremely long. It's longer than the first one.
Yeah,
I don't know why, because it's way it's just way worse pace. It's just terribly paced.
Too many flashbacks. But there were two good flashbacks, I'd say.
The ones with Joel and
Ellie. The best scene in the game was the flashback with Joel and Ellie. The two characters that we all cared about.
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes back. It's Ellie's 15th birthday, and they go to a museum. Ellie really loves dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was a great
scene. And they go into the rocket ship. He pulls out a tape of the original Apollo 13, I believe, the original recording of that, and she uses her imagination. It's just a really good scene. This is stuff that we loved in the first game. And the porch scene was pretty good, but the thing is, it was still kind of missing something, I feel like.
The one thing.
Yeah.
Are you talking about which porch scene are you talking about?
At the very end, that was the thing she remembered. She remembered before she was killing Abby, but then she let her live.
Yeah.
So my problem with it is my problem with it overall is Ellie was telling Joel my life would have fucking mattered. If I was supposed to die that time, my life would have fucking mattered. But the thing is, I don't understand why you don't get what Joel did at the end of the day. Because he was clearly trying to say that your life does matter. That's why he saved you at the same time. At least that's what I felt in that scene.
Yeah, but I think that what she was trying to say was that it was. I mean, it was basically her decision. I don't. I think that she understood why he did it, but he did it for selfish reasons.
Yeah, but like, again, but if you also remember in the hospital scene, they don't tell Ellie that they were going to kill her. Like,
That
so
is true. That is.
they didn't give you a choice to kill you in that situation. They just said that they're going to be running tests on you, and then they're going to try to see like what it's if this is going
That
to
is
work and
true.
all that. So the thing is, they don't give you a choice if they're going to kill you or not. So again, both sides are not in the right. At least I think so. And I still like that line from Joel. He says like, if God gave me another chance, I would do
I
it
would
all
do
over
it
again.
again. Yeah, that was.
That,
Yeah,
that
that was good.
yeah, it was a really good line.
Yeah.
And it's just I wish Joel didn't die so early into the game. But
Yeah.
I do understand Joel dying eventually.
Yeah.
But
Of
like
course.
but like people have been waiting for 7 years. I've only played both games last year,
And then
but
the thing
I
that
can
we.
understand when people are upset when Joel dies so early and you don't even get to
Yeah.
play as him at all.
Yeah, and the thing that we have to reiterate is that it's a sequel, and when you're making a
It's a
sequel
sequel.
to the first one, you have to look at okay, what were the main sort of themes and definitely and the main reason why people like the first one.
Yeah,
We gotta look at that, and we gotta see like, and then we gotta make the sequel at least have some of that. You can't just completely take it all away and then expect the audience, because at that point you're just alienating your audience. Really, that's what you're doing. You're just
yeah,
because you're taking an intellectual property and you're saying that it's this completely different thing, which is this exact same thing that happened with Star Wars. They took
right.
Ryan Johnson. I'm saying they took him and he took everything about it and said, you know what, nah, G, threw that joint
Let's try.
out, and he made his own thing,
Yeah,
and in the process he alienated a fan base. So I mean, you just got
yeah.
to
I
be
mean,
careful
like
with sequels.
my other problem with this game is just like it's just the tone is so like I get it. It's a shitty world and all that, and like
Yeah, it's the
and
tone.
but
That's what I'm
the
saying. The
tones.
tone like feeds into that because the tone of the first game, despite being such a terrible world, the tone was sort of like it ended on a positive note. It ended on okay.
And there were it even with
There
all
was
these
hope.
dark scenes after
Yeah,
dark scene, still some
yeah,
hope in the game. Like
yeah.
the draft scene, or like whenever Ellie and
Exactly,
Sam talk to each other, or like when Ellie was asking what did ice cream trucks used to do, like just simple scenes like that.
exactly.
And like there was still hope in the world at least. And I get it, this is a shitty world and all that, a dark bleak world where
Yeah,
a lot of people die and a lot of people get sick and all that. But the thing is, there was still at least some levity out of it because it's just natural. Like I know like Kareem could be a little bit more on the real side, but we all do know that there should be some hope. Otherwise, like if there's no optimism anywhere in the world,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like then it's just a shitty world at the end of the day. What is there to look
Exactly.
forward to?
There's nothing compelling about that world, basically. To me,
Yeah,
at least. If there's nothing to really to strive for, there's no goal in that world, then why are we here?
that's why the first game worked so well is they were able to balance
Exactly.
those tones together and make it such a cohesive story. Here, like everything is just bleak, dark, sad. People are dying everywhere. There's no moment of like hope. And the thing is, like, you can't say the flashbacks are those moments because, like, they're
Because
flashbacks.
they're flashbacks, exactly. They don't really serve as that really hope because it happened in the past. So like
Yeah,
there's
so it's
no
like,
hope of going back to those times. It's more of saying,
it's like
damn, those times were great and now look at this. This is just I
yeah.
mean
So that's the
the
thing,
one
and
thing I do have to say about the game is it came out in the right year. Let's just say that.
it did come on the right here with 2020 and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to conclude. Do you have anything else? I feel
I
like we went
mean,
through, and I feel
yeah,
like if we come up with new stuff, we might come up with a part two. I mean, this game is a lot
yeah,
overall, but I feel like we did talk about a lot. Uh, but yeah, so I like to conclude with like you have people saying you didn't get what you want. That's usually a criticism. Like like who are you to decide what the writers can do? You never wrote a game before. You never made You never made a video game. You never made a movie or a TV show or anything like that. So who are you to decide what the person can or can't do in the story? Now, I just feel like that's such a stupid argument. Like, just because I have no experience of writing a story, that doesn't mean I can't evaluate that the story sucks. Like, I don't need to have a law. I don't need to have a writing credit to know that Star Wars was not written well. The Last Jedi, it was not written well. I don't need a film in my bag to know that it was written bad. I don't need to. I don't need to be told that like Batman v Superman was written bad. I don't need. I don't need to have credit in writing to know that those were badly written films. Now again, I don't have experience in the game in writing video games or media, but that doesn't mean I can't evaluate that stories are written bad or not. I don't know. Like, we do that all the time as people in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, man, and let me piggyback on that. I think that all art events is put out because this is I mean, the medium of video games is art. Like, let's just say that. So all
Yeah.
art is put out to be either adored or criticized. And when you criticize art, it's obviously some of it is subjective, but there are some rules, like there are rules to writing. Like you have to there are rules that can be broken, but there are general rules to writing that you should follow, and general rules to writing a sequel that you should follow. And he tried to be ambitious, and he failed. And so we gotta let him know he failed.
And like the thing is like, and it's just like when you come off the first game, I've said like the first game has like great story, great. It was pretty good graphics for 2013. Great
Yeah,
characters. The pacing was really good. The music, the side characters, like there's so much good in that game. And when you go into a sequel, you just have a higher expectation. Like again, the only innovation that they did, like also you kind of expect more improvements in the combat or like fighting style.
yeah,
But again, it
exactly.
still felt like
It's
the
the
first
same.
game, except they added a dodge and prone. But uh, I mean that's whatever really. And then
Hmm.
like and then the side characters, pretty much all of them suck except for Jesse and I guess Lev. Um, but then pretty much all the other side characters are just trash. And then, but then in the first game you have Tess, you have Bill, you have Sam and Henry. More compelling side characters overall. At least I think so.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like you didn't get what you want. Yeah, you're right. I didn't want to get shit. Like that's the thing. Like,
Hey, yo, this man laying it on him, bro. He said I didn't want to
it's
get.
just, but and it's like, and it's also like, yeah, I didn't want Joel to die. I didn't want him to die now, at least. I'm like, or like if he died in this game, I would have liked it if he died later in the game. Yes, or like preferably I'd like him to at least be in the third one. And we know there's going to be a third one because like they just love to milk sequels and all that. I don't know, but ideally I wouldn't have a problem with him dying. It's just how he died. It was so out of character uh, to Joel and who he was in the first game. And you could say that, oh, having Ellie as a daughter is now numbing his senses. But the thing is, like, you haven't shown me that that was a possibility in the first place. So, like, how can I believe that?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah,
And one thing I do want to say that is, to me, if they make a third one, I'd be sort of interested to see what they do with it, because they did leave it off.
imagine
They
they kill
did.
Ellie.
Hey man, that'd be interesting. I mean, but all I gotta say is, I am sort of interested where they take it, because where they left off was not a bad stopping place considering all of the terribleness that happened beforehand. Now Ellie is all alone, PTSD, she's lost everything, and I feel like it's a good starting point because it's sort of like a soft restart, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they have a
Uh,
lot that they can do with the story. So I hope that they return back to form with the third one if it ever comes out. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna take a bit of convincing for me, at least in my.
I never said I was gonna buy. I was never said I was gonna pre-order it. I just said I would like to see where they take the story.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I was given the game, I don't think I'm going to be personally buying any sequels.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
but yeah, I mean, still overall great voice work by the voice actors. Graphically, one of the best looking video games that I've seen in the last year.
And that's a given with Naughty Dog too, because they always make great.
Naughty Dog knows what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now in terms of story, that's we have a lot of problems with that. But yeah, overall, not as good as a game.
Not it. I proclaim it was not it, sir. Not it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ellie. I mean, the summary of the game: Ellie is bad for wanting revenge. Ellie's good, and it's okay that she wanted revenge. She gets no remorse or PTSD or anything like that, unlike Ellie. So yeah, that was the summary of the game basically. And yeah, that was the Last of Us Part 2
review.
Yeah, and thanks for joining, Kareem.
No problem. Anytime.
Hopefully we can talk about something a little bit more positive next time, if we were to do a discussion.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about. I'm ready to talk about a lot of video games. I played some video games. You want to talk about God of War? Hit me up. I'll talk about that.
If you made it all the way through the end of the review, I appreciate it. Also, thank you to Kareem for joining me in this review. If you want to support Kareem, check out and subscribe to 301 Reacts, where they react to music, funny clips, and anything with their hilarious commentary. Here's a clip of what you might get.
Niggas put garlic powder on everything, so I can't speak on it.
Let's not say everything.
You put garlic powder on your ice cream?
Nigga, I mean,
you put it on your ice cream.
That's why garlic powder don't get invited to none of the meat. The niggas always bragging. Like, niggas put you on everything. Relax.
Cayenne pepper, bro. You go in chili. That's it. I don't want to get. I can't. No respect. No respect. Bro, you understand how spicy cayenne pepper is? If you put that shit on chicken, it's gonna most of the time ruin the flavor of the chicken, bro.
I mean, some people can't handle it. I won't expect garlic powder to handle it.
Hell yes, sir.
That's kind of crazy. You on your ass, garlic. I ain't gonna sit on it. You may think it's breast steak, though. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, yo, that is true.
Listen, just brush your teeth after you eat, bro. It's worth it.
Be sure to subscribe to 301 Reacts by clicking the link in the description. My next video will be something related to Spider-Man No Way Home. If you're interested in that, or reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can support my channel, Red Devilosa Reviews, by liking the video and subscribe for more of that content. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.